Hey guys, Patriot with you at a familiar location. This is my 100-yard beam comparison area. You can see behind me I've got a big building that's about 100 meters away. And tonight we've got the Z-Vision LX70. And we're going to try a couple different comparison lights. This is like my fourth time out to this area, just trying to get some decent beam shots. It's always hard with the video because I'm so critical of it. It's either snowy or the colors are off or one thing. So I was out here last night, wasn't happy with my footage. I'm doing it all over again. So hopefully this comes out. I'm going to leave the camera in automatic settings and let the shutter stop down as needed. And the reason why that's okay is because all of the comparisons that we're going to be doing are going to involve both lights in the frame at the same time. So even if the camera compensates, it will compensate equally between both lights. So let's go ahead and give this a shot and we'll see what we get. Alright guys, I think I'll just start with the largest lights here and work my way down. The first light's going to be the Polarion PH50 and that's a 50 watt light, and we're going to put that up against the Z-Vision LX70, but we're going to turn it on at 50 watts so that you can see more of a direct comparison. After that we'll bump it up a little bit, but I just wanted to show you both lights at 50 watts and then we'll go from there. Now you'll see in the background that the color temperature is changing. It's adjusting to whatever, so it's going to average the color temperature of these two lights, but we should be able to see a difference between them. The Z-Vision is a 4000 Kelvin beam and the Polarion PH50 is a 4300 Kelvin beam. Let's go ahead and turn on the LX70 on 50 watts and we'll turn on the Polarion. You can see that the Polarion does come on quicker. It is a faster starting light. It does have a larger corona. You can see the color temperature is warming up on the Polarion, and the 50 watt LX70 is coming up to power here. Okay, one of the things that you're going to notice right away is a smaller corona on the LX70, which is on the right, the Polarion on the left. So you can see how big that corona is on the PH50. So it's going to give you a nice wide beam, but you can see how concentrated that beam is on the LX70. It is a very, very precise hot spot. Real amazing light. Okay, I'm going to set these down for just a second. We're going to turn the LX70 up to 50 watts. Okay, again, Polarion on the left here. Z-Vision on the right. Okay, I'm going to kind of run this across the roof line up there to this pillar. And here's the LX70. Okay, right now we're looking at beam shape, not intensity. The only time we're comparing these two lights is when they're in the same frame. Okay, this will be a lot easier to see at 100 yards, but this location gives me an area where I can see more than half the beam out there against the wall and what it looks like. See the difference in color temperature? A little bit more yellow out of the LX70 on the right. Again, we are looking at the 70 watt setting right now on the LX70. Quite a bit more light. The hot spot is incredible on this HID light. It is very, very intense. Alright, the next light here is going to be the Polarion Abyss Dual S. It's the spot version. Got a slightly textured reflector, and we're going to turn this right to high, which is 45 watts or about 4,500 lumens. But first, let's go ahead and turn on the LX70 on high. It's going to be this guy right here. We're going to switch this on to high. And here comes the Polarion. Not much time needed to fire up the Polarion. It happens a little bit quicker than the LX70. Okay, you can see that that spot out there is a bit softer. So we've got 5 less watts output than the PH50 and a smoother beam. Here's how intense the beam is on the LX70. I'll just run those hot spots down along the that white line there. The corona on the Abyss is actually smaller than it is on the PH50. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run these up and down the column there. You can kind of see that beam shape. And again, this is going to show up really well in the longer range shots. We'll go out to 250 yards next. This is just one in a series of videos of beam shots. The final one will be out to about 900, 1,000 meters. Next light here is going to be the Phoenix RC40. It's kind of become one of the reference LEDs here in the collection. When we want a good throwing LED that puts out a lot of lumens, I turned it to the RC40. So we got 3,500 lumens, 4 XML LEDs, 3,500 lumens, about 130,000 candela throw. Let's go ahead and turn this up to high. And we'll go cycle back through those just to make sure that we are on the highest setting. So here's the RC40. You can see that it does make a lot of light. It's a larger spot than even the Polarian Abyss. You can see that it's quite a bit different hot spot configuration. The spill's kind of got these big petals in it here. Not a big deal, it's not something you notice in use, but let's go ahead and shine the LX70 down there. You can see the difference in hot spot. We're talking about 5 to 6 times the throw out of the LX70 than from the RC40. In fact, when I shine it up there and then I go back to the RC40, I almost question if it's on all the way or not, because the eye gets adjusted for that higher output, that intensity. Okay, another thing you'll notice is the color of the paint on the building, the brick, the different tones, the browns, the reds up there. Okay, it's a little bit flatter here with the RC40. It's just the nature of LED. It's not going to bring out the same colors that the HID does. So one of the big top dog LED lights compared to one of the big top dog HID lights right here. There's the difference that we're seeing. You can see that they still have some catching up to do. Alright, these next two lights are going to be worlds apart in difference. I just kind of wanted to show you what a very popular TM26, 3,500 lumens, 4 XML LEDs. I just want to show you what this light looks like. Okay, that's on high, 3,500 lumens. You can see we got a lot of spill out of this light, 40,000 candela. There's also a newer version of this that uses XML2 LEDs, another 300 lumens and a bit more throw. Okay, I just want to show you what you can expect, the difference out of these two lights. So we're talking 10-15 times the throw out of the LX70 as compared to one of these high output pocket LED lights. Pretty amazing light until you see this one downrange. And again, this isn't the kind of light that you're going to be looking hundreds or thousands of yards with. This is, right now, it's actually in its perfect element. 100 yards or less, it's going to light up a big area. And here's the HID light. And both at the same time. Alright guys, the next light here is going to be the awesome Through Night TN32. I'm really impressed with the performance of this light for an LED thrower. It's pretty amazing, and this is in a package that's under 170, 180 bucks. Big reflector in this light. Let's go ahead and put this down range and we'll show you how bright this is. Let me grab the LX70 really quick. Okay, the LX70 is already on and fired up. Okay, I'm going to turn this light to strobe so that you can see that it's all the way on and into neutral and then to high. So this is the highest output on this light. Pretty amazing for an LED light. It blows away the RC40 in this area of throw. Bit less lumens. It's 1700 lumens as compared to the 3500 you saw from the RC40, but the throw is way up there. It's actually over 200,000 candela throw. This light does really well. I haven't measured it exactly, but I know it's way more than what Through Night says it is. Okay, let's go ahead and put the LX70 down there. All right, you can see a bit of a difference there. So again, we've got one of the best production throw lights in LED up against a large format HID light. Pretty substantial difference. And again, these will show better at 200 yards. I just want to show you the beam characteristics and the color. There's the color that you can expect out of the TN32 versus the LX70. Alright. Hope this was helpful, guys. I'll have another part coming up at 250 yards. We'll kind of do some of the same comparison testings. And I'm going to go home and review this video and make sure that it's satisfactory. I've had a heck of a time lately, but I think we've got it narrowed down. Wowee, using this light under 50 yards is almost ridiculous. Even 100 yards. It's all I'm seeing is spots right now just from the reflected light. Alright guys, hope you liked this section. Keep your eyes open for a part 2 beam shots coming up. I'll try to get it up tomorrow. Patriot out.